Welcome to Chick Days at Stockdale's. We are proud that you have joined us for our second video in this series about chick care. We've made it past the first 20 weeks of raising our newborn chicks, and now we need to make some nutritional changes. We have with us John Houston, Director of Business Services for Protrusion Feed, to talk more about it. John, tell us about your background with chick care.
Well, I've been involved with chick care all my life, and with layers, as we're going to talk about today, I've had layers all my life and sold eggs and had egg routes as a kid. Our kids had egg routes, and went to church with 20 dozen eggs, every Sunday, and washed eggs what seemed like all night. So we've had layers for a long time, and they're a fun project, but they can also be a lot of work. So.
Yes, sir. So we've raised these birds up, from being newborn chicks, and now we need to make some nutritional changes. What do you recommend that we start feeding our birds?
So that's a good question, because a lot of times folks don't understand that we do need to transition. So we'd like to mix those layer pellets with the chick starter for about a week and gradually take the chick starter away. Now realize that there are layer crumbles, which is the same formulation as the pellets. If you want to stay on a crumble, that's fine, but it's not necessary. There's also mini pellets, which are a smaller diameter pellet than your typical layer pellet, that some people like, and they think, well, our birds are smaller, so they need a smaller particle size to consume. That's really not necessary, because these birds can handle those layer pellets, but all of those are available. The protein requirements on those layer feeds are typically around 16% with a good amino acid balance. They can go up, some people like to go up even as high as 22%. But just remember that particle size is a personal preference and not necessarily an issue for the birds, unless they are small breed birds like bantams and things like that.
Sure, that's an awesome point. So how much should a mature hen eat?
That's a really good question, and on average they'll eat about 1/4 pound per day of that layer pellet. So, and it'll fluctuate by breed and, that kind of thing, but on average it'll be 1/4 pound per day.
Okay, and then, so we've got all these mature hens together, but what about my roosters? What can I feed those roosters? Do I need to separate them out when I'm feeding those layer pellets?
Not at all necessary. Those roosters can eat that layer pellet and be fantastic and be fine and do great. And so, obviously you're not going to get the eggs, but that layer pellet is formulated in such a way that those roosters can benefit from that feed, and you don't have to have other feeds. The main thing is, a lot of people think they can just feed scratch feed or something like that, or a lower end layer pellet. There are layer pellets that are formulated that will be 16% crude protein, but the digestibility of that protein and the energy requirement, which we don't see on a feed tag, you don't know what that energy requirement is as a consumer, and so that energy requirement is really important. So you can have a protein factor and the energy be really low, and you'll be getting eggs every 3 days or every 4 days instead of one every day. So that's if you see that, then maybe the energy requirement in your feedstuffs is not where it needs to be.
John, is there any other quick points that you would like to leave with our viewers today?
Just the only thing is, just know that everything that you need to know is not on the feed tag. So just remember that those energy requirements, a lot of those things are not on the feed tag. And if you have those questions, just ask about them. And other than that, I hope you're very successful with your poultry project.
Thank you, John. Thank you for visiting with us today and watching our video. For all your poultry project needs, visit your local Stockdale's location.